Hi, this is Robin Thomas with Living Well Connections, and I have here today Aditi Verma. And
Hello.
Aditi is a mom, writer, certified wisdom coach for kids age 7 to 12, and a certified teen wisdom coach for teens and youths ages 13 to 23. She believes it's vital for children to be balanced emotionally and intellectually to achieve their goals and be successful in their life. With Empower and Help, Aditi hopes to bring that balance into children's lives by focusing on emotional intelligence and value based learning. She also believes that personal growth within parents will naturally lead to personal growth in children. So she provides support and workshops for parents. Her vision is that of a connected, empowered, and happy family for all her clients. She teaches powerful tools to her clients to achieve their goals, which she herself practices as well. Welcome, Aditi.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the introduction.
Yeah, well, I'm very happy to have you here because this is such a challenging time across the whole
Definitely.
world. But I know here in the United States, people, families, the children, the schools have closed, and the
Yeah.
children are all suddenly at home. And these are parents that may or may not be quite prepared for this
Oh,
on
yeah.
a full-time day. We are about to go in lockdown. And
Mm,
so full-time, 24-hour, um, with your family that you love dearly, but you also may need to realize you need a little distance, but you need, I'm thinking how much you can really help with giving some insights to how to deal with this.
sure, sure. I can share what I have done for me and my family, and some of the things that I've heard from other parent coaches and parent experts for the teens, and hopefully that will help. But one of the big things that comes across everything are two things: ongoing conversations and structure. Having that ongoing conversations with your kids to make sure that they understand what's going on. They understand what this coronavirus is and how it's affecting people, how the numbers are going up. Even if you have a younger child, you don't want to show them the TV because it may be hard for them to cope with the news and graphic things. Of course, a teenager, you want to show them because they're ready and they're mentally ready. Depending on your child, your child, right? Then you definitely want to keep them in the loop so they can also see what's going on. I think the more they see and more they read the news about this, more they're likely to accept it. That, okay, I need to play my part. And if you as a parent are playing your part, you kind of want to be vocal about it, right? So your child knows because you're role modeling it, right? So you don't want to say, I'm
Exactly.
doing my thing and I'm doing the you should do it, not in that sort of way, but more so, oh, I just came from outside, I'm going to wash my hands, right?
Yeah,
And
you
it
want
just kind of,
to look
yeah,
at what you model.
yeah. So they're aware of it because it's something that we are all getting used to. I just touched something, I want to wash my hands. I think it's washing the hands we have been doing so many times, we are not used to. You wonder what people are doing, why were they not washing hands before? It's just communication is key, just including them. And if you're sharing, if you get some news, you share it with your friend, right? You said, listen, did you hear this? Did you hear this? This numbers that went up. Have the same conversation with your teen or with your tween or with your child. Like, talk to them about the same thing. Did you know this is what happened? I think more they're in the loop, more they know, they will be able to relate and they'll be able to understand more. So that it's not going to be easy. Of course, they're at that time where it's much harder to be for especially teens to stay away from each other. But having that conversation um, helps. As a parent, no matter whether you have a 2-year-old or 5-year-old or even a teenager, you may have to set your foot down and set some ground rules. That I understand this is happening. I understand you're going through this, but we're not going out. We're not meeting other people. Um, Now I
I
don't
think
want
the tone of your voice is so good and calming. I think that with our children,
to.
we need
Yes,
to keep that too. We don't want to be putting panic,
that's
but
true.
that this is real, this is serious, and we just all need to go forward.
Yeah. And one other parent coach had mentioned that her daughter has a boyfriend and they're very close, and she considers him as family. And we are keeping our family. So how do you define family? Well, so you know what? As a parent, you may be open about it. You want to talk to her boyfriend, to your child's boyfriend or girlfriend's family and see how do you want to deal with this. Maybe, the circle of germs, we are exposed to our own family members. And if you are comfortable with it and you may want to have a bigger circle of germs, but you want to keep that open gate and still come up with some precautions that this is what I tell my child to do. Your child is going to do the same thing. That's, you kind of want to come up with some agreement if that's okay with that family.
Yeah, that has to be careful of that, because that can expand to, there's another member in the other family that goes to another house.
Yeah, so I mean, it's something that's not recommended, of course, but it's just something that one of the parent coaches had sort of mentioned, so I'm sharing with you. But second thing that was very helpful in my family was structure. The first week, everything was okay. We just went with the flow. We did what we could, kids didn't do any work. There was no direction for it. But I knew that the direction was coming. It's still coming. They don't have any work from home. But I had a conversation with my kids saying that this is not how we're going to keep going forward, right? Like, we need to take things in our hands. And instead of we need to be proactive. So let's go back to our values. We went back to our values, where one of the things, we have four major things, and one of the things is intellectual growth. So intellectual growth, we decided we're going to do some academic studying every day. We're going to pick 2 subjects, we're going to read, and we're going to be creative, do something creative and fun. That can be art, it can be special, it can be, whatever they want to do, try something new. So that, and we gave it time frame, right? Like at least 30 minutes. That takes away 2 hours of your day, and it can be split. And I gave them flexibility. Of course, you want to give them guidelines, right? Like, you want to finish them from this time to this time. That they need guidelines. And what guidelines work. For me, it was like, let's get the work done, at least 1 hour of work done in the morning. Let's take a break and let's do, this much time in the afternoon. So we came up with a schedule. And I actually, although it was in the back of my mind, I reached out to some of my other friends, asking them, especially on the academic side, because I wasn't sure if I was doing enough or I was doing less or if I was pushing too much, and to get an idea of what some of the other friends are doing. And there were a couple of people who already had schedule. They were ahead of me. And that helped me to kind of see what they are doing as well. So the structure has worked amazingly, because kids wake up, they know they have to get this work done. We do breakfast together. Sometimes we cook together. Then they know they have something else they need to get done. What are we going to do for something creative? They made paper straws yesterday. And then they have their TV time. They negotiated that with me. So that way they're not sitting and watching TV all day long. So they watch their TV in the morning, and then in the afternoon. Second, a family value for us is spiritual time. That's very important for us. So one of the videos that someone had forwarded me, it said something like, nature is a great experimenter. One of the ladies, and it really resonated. The way it experiments is by discarding human beings that don't support the whole. Or discarding species. Let's just not say human beings, right? Dinosaurs are extinct. What is to say that human beings may not be extinct? Now, this is just a theory, but it makes you think, right? Like, am I supporting the universe as a whole? Right. Am I doing my duty? And a lot of people will say this whole thing is about slowing down, about just going inside and figuring out more about you, your purpose. What is it? Am I, doing what matters?
Exactly. And I've been thinking of that, a lot of that too. I mean, just like, what does this mean? What does this mean for beyond, after after this critical short period? How is the world going to change in this? Are we going to become aware of how we are all connected across the whole world? And this is one person who had a virus, and it's now across the whole world. And we connected emotionally, connected in so many different ways.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, you read in the books and you read that we are all one. right? And this is where we are seeing we are all one. If it's going to affect you, it's going to affect me. We need to take care of each other, right? So just talking to my kids about this, we have some spiritual time where we sit down and watch something spiritual where we learn some value-based education. We spend 30 minutes on that. At night, I read them some books where they learn some values. I also encourage them to do some chanting so we can raise our consciousness level. And that takes like 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. It's not that we're sitting and, of course, that's what I do with my kids. If I want to do something extra, that's my own time that I'll do. But 30 to 40 minutes I spend with them, split during the day, where, we're learning. So there's a spiritual time. That's where, I want them to grow spiritually, intellectually, and spiritual/mental health for us goes together. And then get some exercise. So we do try to get out and go for biking. So that's one thing that has happened as a family. We have done a lot of biking in the last week or two. That's the exercise that, I'm used to going to the gym and getting hardcore exercise. So for me, this has been a big change. But on the bright side, I've learned to adjust to this. I've actually starting enjoying it, right? And it gives me an opportunity to actually be in the nature.
Right.
So, and that is a requirement for my kids. Like they have to do something physical and go outside and connect with nature. And
that is something that's so important to our family. And thank goodness we live near a wooded area.
Yeah.
Take walks and
That's
beyond.
Wonderful. Yeah.
In the wooded area, and really, connect. It's really good. I have one question going back to the structure. What do you suggest for the difference between children? Your children are, they're both under 13.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you suggest for the teenagers? Would it be in designing the structure, more of a collaborative effort of what, just to make sure that there's kind of like I give myself structure for working my business, going in the day, and I know you also teach teenagers.
Yeah.
And this emotional intelligence, and and able to do this. So tell us a little bit about difference of working with your children who are younger and maybe used to sort of being told, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Or teenagers that they're wanting their independence, and they're in that. So now they're at home.
Yeah, I think, with the teenagers, one of the things is a lot of communication and kind of giving them the, let's try a structure. We need a structure. And if you have a family value, it really helps because you have agreed to certain values as a family. And if you don't have it, then I think start there. Because before you tell them, let's have a structure, whatever, you need to agree to what are family values. And our values are 4 things: grow intellectually, grow spiritually, mentally, keep physical health is important, and finally, family time, family connection. And then within that, you kind of see what are the other things that are important. So that's like a simple, I'm sharing it so everyone has an idea. But I think that's where you want to start. Like when you agree with your teenager, these are our family values. What do you think? What do you think our family values should be? And that's a conversation starter. Like start with the family values. Like this is wonderful. Once you finalize the family values, right? It doesn't have to be like 10 or 20 pages long, right? It's just something you want 1 page, something simple. And then you're like, this is great. We know what's happening with coronavirus. Keep them in loop with the news of what's happening. Every night have that conversation so they know about it, and have a discussion of how all of our lives are changing. And there are ways to make it better. And you can discuss how I would like to put the structure on me and it helps me. And why don't you try for yourself? And let's take our values.
That's a great idea.
Right? Let's
take it goes back to the modeling of the behavior. I mean, as a parent, you're not changing out of your pajamas all day long. And I get up and get dressed every day.
Yeah.
And
I'll be honest, there are days I don't. So that's something that I have not pushed my kids to do.
You haven't pushed that, okay.
But the truth is, we have this rule. Yeah, we have this rule: when we step out, or when by this time, we all change. So if you're going to step out, you're going to take shower. Then we all change. But it's not something that happens from in the morning. But I think if that helps a lot of people. Getting up, taking a shower, get out of your pajamas. That changes your energy level and the mood you're in. So that's great, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something I do. So I have a morning routine where a little bit of reflection and journaling, a little meditation, and then
Mhm.
I go take a walk,
Mm.
exercise, and I come back, and then I jump in the shower and get dressed for. I mean, I'm not walking in my PJs, but I'm walking in exercise stuff.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And then I just come after I have my walk. I come back and I get dressed, and then I'm like ready to work.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. And that was my routine.
Before. I know.
But this, the new routine is,
My
yeah. I
husband.
still wake up, I do my meditation. I don't like to walk in the cold. I get really cold. So, but that's something that I'm still adjusting. So we started biking when it's a little bit warmer. But that's a wonderful routine. I used to do that, just go get my exercise and come, take shower, and my day has started.
Yeah, it settles my emotions too. It settles my.
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. So yeah, that's like role modeling is great. Just having, I think having the values down, and if you agree on the values, that's a big thing because then it's something that we as family have agreed on. This is important to all of us, and why. And that discussion, that's when you kind of can get their buy-in
Mhm.
on, let's do this. Another thing I also do with my kids on a daily basis is I do connection time with them, 10-minute special time. Now with the teens, if you haven't done it, it's going to be hard to implement that 10-minute special time because they are older. But there has to be, if I recommend parents do some sort of one-on-one time with their teens, and teens get to choose whatever they want to do, but it has to be ideally screen free. And right now, if it cannot be screen free, then let's pick something that you both can watch together and discuss and talk about.
Right.
Because when you have that connection, that also makes it easier for you to get them to buy in, like to listen to you. Because only when you have that connection, you can influence them. Without the connection, it just won't work. So I think like having a family value agreement and having the connection, role modeling it, and being just don't give up conversations. You want to keep trying, and bring it back to family values. And you can do it. Like show them that you believe in them. Like you can do it. This is going to help you with this, right? Why don't you try these things? You can make a suggestion. Your child, or you can tell them, why don't you come up with something and then I will help you.
Oh, that's another option. Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on the age or the personality of the child.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, your child best, so you know what it, you kind of want to take it in a way that you can influence them. So I think these are the things that were really something you want to try. You definitely want to keep them in loop with what's going on. And so even share a story with them about someone. Sometimes I make up stories, but to influence my kids. But I don't know if you agree, they're younger, but like, or to kind of give them an idea of what will happen if you don't study at all, or what will happen if you don't eat healthy. What will happen, this is going to happen. Like kind of, and I tell them, I'm going to tell you a story. And they know I'm making it up. Right. I'm like, there was this girl and, she didn't eat healthy and then she was very weak. She couldn't run. This is, of course, a kid's story, but you can easily make up a story that you can influence a teacher because you are now talking about the career choices, right? Like this is what's going to happen. This might be your choices because there are some real life stories for kids who have gone through that.
Right. And it's
just to.
It's always good to have like just the limited choices rather than the.
Yeah, definitely. And that's even like psychologically proven that if you give too many choices, it's hard for mind to even decide. So it doesn't help. Even for a product line, right? And if there's 10 different kinds of shampoo, they have seen their sales drop.
Yeah.
Versus they're giving, say, 6 different. It's easier for customer to choose.
Right.
And so you want to do the same thing with your children. So
tell me, you were doing last time we spoke, you were doing some workshops for both parents.
Yes.
And children. Are you still doing those workshops?
Yes, actually, I have a workshop coming today, Thursday evening, for moms. So if they have questions, they can jump on it, and we will support each other. That workshop is $10, but proceeds from that workshop are going to go to make meal kits for people who cannot have
Oh,
meals this time.
I like that. I've been doing
So,
some too. If you have, please send me if you have a link, and that would just be one day, or definitely put the link to your website of where you'll show future workshops in case
yeah,
somebody's watching this next week.
yeah, yes, yes.
And they're going like, oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, so that workshop is today, but I have been doing workshop for teens, and those are free to get involved in the global issues. So this is an opportunity for them to think what matters to them and how they can use their voice to make a difference. And we're gonna and because of everything that's happening, teens are losing on earning some volunteer opportunities.
Right.
So we have come up with some ways where they can earn volunteer opportunities through, online volunteer opportunities. So next week, I'll post this too. Next week, this is coming up. We'll discuss this with them, so they can make a difference. They can still have volunteer opportunities, but it can be done remotely.
Yeah. And so these are all, and now you have, these are all virtual workshops.
These are all virtual workshops. These are all online. We are talking,
So definitely send me that information, and I'll
Yeah.
put it in this video.
Yeah,
And, so people can see it and click right to it.
I
So give
will.
me ways that they can see what you're doing in the future too. I mean, as you change, like definitely your website.
Yes,
You
definitely.
have events section of your website.
Yes, I have an events tab, and we can go there, and everything is posted there. I'll send you that.
Well, this has been lovely. Thank you
So
much.
much. Yes,
Appreciate
thank
you
you.
so much.
It's always a pleasure, Robin, when I talk to you. I always love it. So,
Well, take care. And again, this has been Robin Thomas with Living Well Connections, and you can catch me or learn more about our community at livingwellconnections.info. So I'm going to post your links below the video, and take care, and we'll be seeing you later.
yes,
Bye.
thank you so much. Bye bye.